You know, on ABT Lockdown Live, we've had some true legends of the sport over the years. And this man I've got with me now is no exception. He has won an Angler of the Year title in the Bass Electric Series with 5 wins out of a possible 5 wins. Charles Westy Westmate, no one can ever beat that. No one can ever get more than 500 points, mate. All anyone can do in the next 100 years is equal that, mate. Must feel pretty good to have that one in the record books.
I think so, Steve. It's pretty good, man. I couldn't believe it when it unfolded. Like, I remember ringing Adrian. I had a first, a fourth, and a first, and I was like, man, that's amazing. It's the best I've ever done. And he shuts me down with, oh yeah, I got a first, a second, and a first. And I'm just like, oh come on, man, you've burst me bubble, but that's all right. I've got 5 out of 5, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, yeah. Look, it was great, mate, and it was a string of form for you that went for a couple of years, and it culminated in you winning the Bass Electric Convention on Lake Wivenhoe, the biggest electric lake that we got, and getting a trip to Japan, mate. And it happened to be that you were over there at the same time as some of the ABT guys were over there. Tell us about the Japanese trip, mate. They are a crazy, crazy set of people, aren't they?
Mate, just the hospitality and just their culture is amazing. Like, they're willing to help you at any length possible. Like, yeah, just they take care of us so much. It was so good because obviously it was sponsored by Valley Hill, and Joey was too. So it made the trip that little bit extra exciting because you're there for a grand final prize. You get to share it with the whole team from Valley Hill. Like, bring the trophy over, show them on the stand, and they're all excited for you, and you can really embrace that whole feeling with everyone. So it's really good.
Yeah, so there's a song about, I'm big in Japan. Are you bigger in Japan than you are in Australia or what?
I'm taller in Japan than I am in Australia, if that counts.
Yeah, when you're on the subways, we all stand ahead above everyone else. Maybe all of us except
Yeah.
Joey are taller than Japanese guys, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly right. There was one time when it was a bit of a surreal moment. We did a lot of tackle stores and that, and we were going to get wet weather gear and that for Lake Arno, which we were going to do the day after. And we walked into a fishing max, and we walked upstairs, and I was looking at some wet weather gear, and there's some discounted stuff. And I picked up this one suit, and I looked over at our host at Hiroaki. He was talking to the two guys that run the shop there, and they came over, and the next thing you know, they've picked up my basket of goodies. They've picked up, like, they've taken my coat off because it was hot in the store, so I took my coat off. They grabbed my coat and started walking around with me, and I'm like, "What's going on here?" And Hero goes, "Well, they've seen you on the Valley Hill webpage on our blog, and they think you're a superstar." And I was like, "Okay, this is pretty cool." And Joe got the same deal too. Like, he got his stuff carried, and we were walking around the store. They gave us awesome discount, and then we threw the gear on and jumped out the front of the store and was doing crazy Instagram pictures for them and stuff. So yeah, that was incredible, man. I'm just an average Joe from Australia, mate, and yeah, just the hospitality from them was amazing.
Yeah, it is good, mate. And let's delve into a little bit. One night we decided to ditch the Japanese hosts and let's go karaokeing. And this, of course, was instigated by Nicole Smith, who's ABT's karaoke
Yeah.
champion of the world. So you, me, Joey, and Nicole decided to go karaokeing in Osaka late one night. Tell us that story.
Yeah. Well, that story. Okay, we're traveling back from dinner back to the hotel, and we've done the whole see you later, hero, and then we've done the old detour to the train station. So Joey had internet. I didn't have internet over there, and he goes, "All right, we need to go here, and this is the picture we were given." And I go, "Okay, no worries, let's go." So we're on a train line, not realizing that there's two different train lines in Japan. So we're on one, you guys are on another. So the train station's called something different. So we've jumped off the train at the right station, jumped on a different train, and went to another station further down the line to then walk amongst all crazy alleyways. And I've gone, "Joe, man, this is not it, dude. We're like in the backs of some bad shit here." Um, so we've turned around and we've jumped back on, and we've obviously corresponded between you guys, and we finally located where we had to be. And like, we looked up, and there's one train line, and then there's another train line underneath it. So yeah, it was confusing, but yet it was part of the adventure, mate. So that's what it's about.
Of course it was. And then karaokeing is a real big thing in Japan. You get a private little room and we're all sitting there belting out our best tunes, mate. And we had such a good time we left it until the train shut. I didn't think trains ever shut in Japan, but apparently at midnight, that's it. The trains are all shut. So we all were left to our own devices to try and find our way back in Japan. And we ended up catching a taxi. Did you end up catching a taxi as well?
Yeah, we like when we said goodbye to yous, we'd gone through and I've looked and there's these random people are running. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty much Japan. They run everywhere or walk really fast. But then the lady comes out and starts shutting off all the escalators. And I'm like, this just doesn't seem right, man. And then I spoke to a guy and like, trains running? And like, oh no, taxi. And they point over to a taxi. Well, our experience with the taxi driver over there, that time and previous times is they just, if they don't know it, they just say no, out, pretty much. And they're like, uh-oh, I know we're a good distance away. And they seem to like to work in their own prefectures, like their own areas. They don't really like to go outside of that. But luckily enough, I think Joey had like 1 bar on battery left. Like we were running on nothing. And he just said yes. And then off we went. And that was it. And we just prayed that we knew where we were going. And he did all the detours of all the tolls. So he didn't go on all the toll roads. So we didn't know where the hell we were until all of a sudden he goes, oh, yes, you're here. And we looked and went, that's the train station that's right near our hotel. So
happy days,
was,
mate.
It was sketchy, but yeah, we made it.
Mate, best $200 karaoke night ever for taxi fares.
Yeah, thanks for that night. I don't really like karaoke, but that night was entertaining. It was good. So thank you. Both.
We're talking about it on Lockdown Live now, mate. So look, let's talk a little bit about the 2020 Bass Electric Series. I think of all the tournaments that ABT run, the Brim, we got about half a series away before COVID happened. The Bass events, we got one away, but Bass Electric, we haven't got any away yet, mate. It seems like, it may be the Bass Electric Australian Open will be the first Bass Electric tournament this year. We know you were leading that thing last year, and that place kicks out some insane bags. Mate, how good is it going to be to get on the water again with an electric motor and catch some of the kick-arsonest bass in Australia in that event?
I think it's going to be amazing. If there was only one event for the year, I think Open on Warralong in that springtime, you couldn't get a better venue and time of year for those bass. They're on steroids, man. They're just so angry and aggressive, and they're so great to catch that time of year. So I think that's right. Awesome.
And last year, you caught them 4-wheel driving your lures through some nasty, nasty stuff. So not only are you catching 2 kilo bass, you're hooking 2 kilo bass in nastiest situation imaginable. So it's a real hand-to-hand combat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. It's really good. Yeah.
So anyone that hasn't done the Bass Electric Australian Open, it's 1 person per boat. You can leave your petrol motor on the back of the boat. So if there's any of the pro guys want to have a crack at it, you can come in your bass boat. Just trim your motor up out of the water and leave it on, and come and do hand-to-hand combat with those fish, because you don't actually have to go that far to catch them. Like you can catch tournament-winning fish with inside of the boat ramp.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like the upgrader I got in the last sort of half an hour of day one, literally you could get it. It's not that far from the boat ramp at all. I'm not going to give away the spot, but it's not too far away from the boat ramp. It's easy enough to get to. So, yeah, they are fish close to the boat ramp.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. And now news for you is that through our networks, we've managed to get you some product testing on a really cool new product from Lowrance. Tell us all about it.
Lowrance Ghost. What can I say? Thank you guys for giving us a shout out there for sure. The thing looks awesome. I haven't had it on the water, but yet I'm still so excited to have it in the boat. Yeah, man. I'm so excited. I'm speechless, to be honest. A big thanks to you guys and obviously Navico Lowrance Australia for giving me the opportunity to review it. Looking forward to it.
Sure. Well, you're already a Lowrance user anyway, and there's it took a while to get them to talk to each other because you need some sort of software upgrade for your sounders, but your electric motor and your sounder talk to each other very well. Take us through some of the basic things that you think the Ghost is going to do for your fishing.
Okay, so for my fishing, I think it doesn't matter whether I've got a petrol motor on pre-fishing or whether I'm in a tournament with my electric on the back as well. If I'm sitting down looking at my screen, using my side scan, you can direct that motor to a cursor. Like if you push on your GPS marker cursor without even putting a GPS mark on it, you can send the motor to the cursor. Or if you have a waypoint, like if you're on side scan, you see a school or you see something that you want to fish, sometimes it's too hard to mark it. and then go and zoom in on your screen and then try and find your way there. With the Ghost, you can send it straight to the waypoint. So while it's going there, you can be getting up on your deck, putting the coffee down, and grabbing your rod and going for it. So I think that's going to play a big key in what I'm going to do. So I can't wait for that.
I think the other important thing is this brushless motor technology. I don't know if you've revved it up yet and heard how quiet those brushless electric motors are.
Yeah.
There's a whole suite of brands coming out with these brushless motors, mate, and they are dead set.
It's like the way I've got it, my boat sits on the trailer, I can actually deploy my electric motor. And the foot pedal is, I can't believe how responsive that foot pedal is. Like, I've had cable steer and electric steer. Cable steer is very responsive. You can feel, as you're putting the pedal down, you can really feel the head moving underneath your feet. Electric steer, you don't feel it, but you can see it and you can hear it. With this, you don't hear it as much, but yet it is so sensitive to your foot. You can literally throw your foot forward and it is turning like ridiculously fast, but it's smooth. You can't feel the weight under your feet. It's crazy.
Yep. No, you get rid of all of that talk, mate. It's an interesting product, and we're looking forward to your video reviews of this product moving forward, because there's a lot of Lowrance users out there. There's a lot who are keen about the product, and having the guy that's won 5 out of 5 Bass Electric events, mate, to win AOY. Who better is there to give this thing a bit of a test, give it a flog and see if he can break it and see how it can improve your fishing, mate. So we're looking forward to some of that footage moving forward, mate. Mate, just finally, we know your heart and soul is invested in the Bass Electric series, and there are a couple of sponsors that really make it happen. Bit of a shout out to them, for the guys that stick their hand up to make it all happen, because we all know that fishing events don't just miraculously pop up.
Oh, exactly right. Like, I think because I got the chance to do it, I think I'd like to, thank some of the guys that have supported me in the earlier days to now. So likes of like Simon Goldsmith worked with Haswing to get me the deal with Haswing. He put my name forward for that, amongst others. So I thank him for that. Tommy Slater, like, I didn't know Tommy Slater from a bar of soap. I never met him, never spoke to him. And he randomly messaged me one day in regards to if I would like to join 13 fishing through Nomad Fishing. And at first I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not quite sure. And I left it. But then he revisited like 6 months later. And he said, I would really like you to show you these new rods. And so I went in and seen him. And, yeah, so he signed me up. So Tommy really helped with that. So I thank him very much for that. And then the guys from Dogtooth Distributions as well, they also had spoken to Simon Goldsmith in the office and asked if there was anyone that would be interested. And Simon put up myself and Joey's name and a bunch of other guys. And we started working with Dogtooth, which was really great. And they introduced us to the guys from Valley Hill. So we signed a contract directly to Valley Hill for our sponsorship deal, which was like an international sponsorship deal. So definitely want to say thanks to the guys from Dogtooth. And then, yeah, Valley Hill guys, like the Valley Hill and the Jado guys, a big shout out to those guys. They're awesome. They look after us every time we go to Japan, and they're willing to help us any way they possibly can. So, yep, everyone I'd like to thank in the sponsorship part of things. So, yeah.
Well, that's awesome, mate, and we look forward to getting those Japanese back and showing a bit of Aussie country hospitality. Maybe one year we can get them across and to fish wire along and pull those little Japanese arms straight. We'll pull the kinks out of their tackle, mate. This is no drop shot for a little 1 pound largemouth. This is hand-to-hand combat, and I think they'll like it.
Exactly right. Definitely no 2 pounds straight through kind of gear either.
No. Well, they can try it, but they can just learn it the hard way like we all have, mate. Westy, thanks very much for joining us on the show tonight, mate. We really look forward to your reviews of stuff coming up, and thanks for joining us on ABT Lockdown Live.
No worries. Thanks, Steve.